In this video, you're going to learn 3 questions that you can ask to yourself in your head while you're leading worship to improve how you lead your church on Sundays or whenever you're leading your church in worship. Coming up. Hey, Spencer here from leadingworshipwell.com, your daily dose of practical worship leading tips. If you want to learn how to lead yourself well, lead your church well, and lead worship well, you're in the perfect spot. So subscribe down below if you don't want to miss out on future worship leading tip videos just like this one. But let's get into what we're talking about today. So I want to set the stage for you. This has happened to you. I know it's happened to you. If you've been leading worship for any amount of time, you're up there playing your instrument or singing or both, and you're like in the 3rd song of your worship set, headed into verse 2, and all of a sudden you realize that you're not even thinking about what you're playing or what you're singing or about how to lead your church. You're thinking, why is that kid back in the back standing on a chair, jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks and Fortnite dances? Or you're thinking, where do I want to go to eat after lunch today? While you're singing, what a beautiful name it is. You know, it's happened to you before. Or you're thinking, man, I can't wait to take a nap after I get home from church today. Listen, that happens to all of us. It happens all the time, and it's probably not good that we're doing it, but here's what it proves to me and what it should prove to you. It should prove to you that you have the ability to think about something else while you're leading worship. And we can either use that for evil, or not really evil, but not in the right way. We can use it and waste that ability, or we can use it for good, and we can direct the thoughts that we have while we're leading worship to good things. And that's what I want to teach you today, is I want to teach you how to redeem those thoughts in a way that will help you continue to lead worship well. And so I'm going to share with you 3 questions that I want you to ask yourself next time you lead worship. Before we get there, though, I want to hear from you. What do you usually think about while you're leading worship? What's running through your head? Is it where you're going to eat after church? Is it that you want to take a nap? Is it, why is that baby in the back crying super loud? What is usually in your head whenever you're leading worship? Let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you in a second. Thanks for leaving your answer down below. I'm sure we think about some crazy things whenever we're leading worship, if we're being honest with ourselves. But I want to share with you now those 3 questions that will help refocus you as your mind sort of wanders while you're leading worship in a way that not just recenters you, but actually improves how you lead your church while you're leading worship. The first question is this: where are the people you're leading at? Where are the people you're leading at? Where are they at spiritually? Where are they at physically? Like, why aren't they actually in the sanctuary right now? Don't they know the service started 5 minutes ago? Just kidding. Hey, if you want to learn how to fix that problem, check out this video that I did right here. Kind of addresses that. But where are the people that you're leading at spiritually? You know, I think it's so easy for us as worship leaders to have this plan coming into worship, which you should 100% have a plan coming into worship. But once we get into the actual act of leading worship, we need to make sure that that plan is still a good plan for where the people are at. Sometimes we misread things, and we think that people are going to be coming in a spiritual place, and then we show up and they aren't there. Maybe we think either extreme of it. Maybe we think, man, these people are going to be ready to worship today. Maybe you're like, something significant happened in the life of your church, and people are going to be ready to celebrate. So you head into Glorious Day, and you're like amped up, and you look out, and people aren't where you thought they would be, and they're like... And so if that happens, we're going to talk about what to do next, but ultimately you need to change the way you're leading. Or on the other end of the spectrum, of the extreme, maybe you get in there, and you think, I'm really going to need to lead people in this mode, in this opening moment, and you have this amazing opening transition that you're going to use to head into musical worship, and you're going to explain something, and it's going to be amazing, and then you show up on Sunday, and you interact with people and you see that they're like in a place that you've never seen them before. They are ready to worship. And so you probably don't need to spend 2 minutes explaining whatever you're going to need to explain. It's okay to be like, okay, even though I planned it, I'm going to sacrifice that because I just feel that we're ready to head into worship this morning. So ask yourself, where are the people at? You can do that before you lead worship, but also do it while you're leading worship and think, okay, I'm in the second song of the set and I know headed into the third song, I've got this transition coming up. Do I still need to put that there? Like, where are the people at right now? Do they need to be led? Just like you did at the beginning of the service, if you ask yourself that question. Also, look at people. I talk about this all the time. Have your eyes open, gauge what's going on in the room. You should be constantly asking yourself, where are the people I'm leading at? And if you're singing a line and they didn't really grasp onto it, maybe you feel like they didn't understand it or they don't believe it, it's okay to be like, hey, we're going to sing this line again because we believe this. Or maybe you need to explain the line to them. But you won't see that if your eyes are closed and you're thinking about where you want to go to eat after church. So have your eyes open. Think, where are the people I'm leading at? And how can I lead them where they are specifically at right now? That's the first question. Let's move into question number 2. The second question, sort of related to question number 1, as a direct effect of question number 1, we asked, where are the people at? Now you need to ask, what do I need to do differently? And I already kind of covered this in the first question, but your answer to question number 1 should inform your answer to question number 2. Okay, the people are here right now. They aren't participating in worship in a way that I've seen them participate in worship in the past. So what do I need to do differently? I think so often we just blame it on the congregation. Well, my congregation, they were like, man, they were out of it today. I'm not sure what was going on, but they weren't into it. And so you can accept that, or you can look at yourself as a leader and say, okay, as a leader, it's my responsibility to move these people into a place of worship, or at least provide the opportunity for that. Am I doing everything in my power to actually provide them the opportunity to respond to what God is doing in their lives? Because God is always moving in their lives. Maybe they don't necessarily recognize it right now. And so how you lead from week to week shouldn't always be the same, because people aren't always in the same spot spiritually. And so you need to ask yourself, what do I need to do differently? You look at them, say, okay, this is where the people are at. Now I need to do something differently. So that's one form that could take, that differentness that you identify that you need to step into. Or maybe it's, man, these people are really into singing the bridge of Waymaker right now, and instead of repeating it 14 times in a row, I need to repeat it 60 times in a row. Don't do that, but you do things differently. So where are the people at? What can I do differently to actually lead them where they are at? Not where I think they're at, not where I want them to be at, but where they are actually at. How people react on Sunday should directly affect how you lead them. And finally, number 3, ask yourself, where is God leading us? And this question isn't asked at the end of the other 2. You don't ask them in succession. Where is God leading us is a question that you ask while you're asking the other questions. Because if we're just trying to use our own wisdom and figure stuff out, it's fine. It's cool. Maybe something cool will happen. But whenever we ask God, where are you leading the people of this church in this moment? Something bigger than yourself happens, something more significant, something that you can never do or conjure up on your own when you ask God to lead you. And so I want to be very careful to put actual skin and bones on what that looks like, because people say this stuff all the time and they never really explain what it means. I think it's because they haven't thought about it, or they don't actually know what it means for God to lead them. Or maybe they do know, but they don't feel like explaining it. I want to explain it. Here's what it means to me. To ask God to lead you is to surrender the things that you had planned, or the wants and desires that you have, for the sake of understanding that God might not want that. So, an example. Sometimes I've talked about spontaneous worship before. I have like these pre-planned spontaneous moments where I had like a spontaneous moment of worship in my preparation, and I thought that would be really awesome to share on Sunday and lead my church in that, even though it's not a part of the original song. And so I come in with these pieces and I'm like, man, I love this thing that I created, and I can't wait to share it with my church on Sunday. I get to church on Sunday and it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do in the moment, because I've seen where the people are at, asked myself, what do I need to do differently? And I said, I've got this moment planned, but God, your will is better than my will. And I'm trusting in this moment as I'm following the Holy Spirit that this isn't what I need to do right now, even though I spent an hour preparing it during the week. If God is moving you in a different direction, listen. And that's, for me, like, it's a feeling. Like, if you feel, I spent an hour planning this week, and I really, 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 really wanted to do it, but in the moment I feel like it's not the right thing, like, that's probably God, because we are selfish as human beings. And if it was up to me and I spent an hour planning something, you better believe that I would want to do that whenever I'm leading worship. But yeah, it's a feeling. Where is God leading you? He will reveal that to you. It's not going to be in writing on the wall, or it's not going to magically pop up on the confidence monitor. Be in tune with the Spirit, and that's a skill that you build over time. Maybe I'll do a video about that in the future, because I feel like that's a good thing to talk about. But the 3 questions: where are the people at? Allow that to inform, what do I need to do differently? And while you're asking those questions, ask, where is God leading us? Is there anything that I need to sacrifice that I had planned in advance, or that I really want to do for the sake of the good of the people of my church right now? So there they were, 3 questions. I want you to focus on that this Sunday. I know your mind wanders from time to time. Maybe it doesn't happen as often for you as it happens for me, but it happens a lot for me. I'm thinking about other things. And when that happens this Sunday or next Sunday or 3 Sundays from now, I want you to think about these questions. Where are the people I'm leading at? What do I need to do differently? And where is God leading us? And that'll shift your attention from, where am I going to eat after church? Or, man, I can't wait to get home and have a nap after church, to, okay, I'm in this moment. God has called me to lead my church, and I'm going to lead them well. This is the road. This is the path to do it. I need to see them. I need to see where they're at. Change whatever I had planned, or maybe what I had planned is the perfect thing in this moment. I won't know until I ask the question, and then react accordingly. All the while asking, where is God leading us in this moment? Hey, if you want to improve your worship leading beyond that, I put together a free audio training called 5 Tips to Instantly Improve Your Worship Leading. In that training, I walk you through 5 simple things, some of which I talked about in this video, so I'll expound upon them more in the free audio training. But there's a link to that down in the description below. Make sure to check that out before you leave this video. Other than that, thanks so much for joining me. Until I see you in the next video, keep leading worship well.